How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi. Welcome to another episode of Tier Talk. Guys, we're going to go back and revisit the Anna Kepner case. She's the one that unfortunately died on a Carnival cruise ship. The boat specifically was Horizon. We did a very detailed discussion on this. It was about 2 days ago, maybe. We even showed a video that kind of gives you a tour of the boat. We talked about FBI jurisdiction, it was a very detailed discussion. It's starting to make its rounds through the YouTube algorithm. But I want to do another video just as a follow-up to clarify two concerns. One is we're going to talk about the specific time of death, which is 11:17 a.m. What does that mean? Because people are running with something right now that's not 100% accurate, but the media is running with it. And then also we're going to talk about why the family may be left out of the loop a little bit. What the investigative agency has to give the family right away and what could take some time, because the latest update here is the father is a bit upset because he's not in the loop of what's happening. And for people that understand law enforcement, we know why this could take a while. However frustrating it can be, we know why. So we'll definitely going to quickly discuss what's the need to know right away that we got to get to you right away. And then obviously, what may take a little bit more time. But I want to show you this video first. It's coming from the news, and this is a good summary of the incident in case you're not too familiar with this.
The family of the bubbly 18-year-old high school senior who died under mysterious circumstances on a cruise ship in the Caribbean is breaking their silence. Anna Kepner's grieving father, Christopher, says he is desperate for answers. The FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet, he was quoted as saying. I know as little as everybody else. I have no idea what is going on right now. We are just trying to sit still and wait for answers. Anna died on the Carnival ship Horizon at 11:17 a.m., according to the Miami-Dade medical examiner. The fact that the precise time of death is listed 11:17 a.m. is only adding to the mystery. Was it odd to you to read the specific time, or is that common?
That's what makes me think maybe there was something external that happened acutely, like very rapidly. It seems like more of an abrupt event that likely led to her death.
Now, guys, I just want to, let me just clear that up. All right, so let me just clarify that real quick. Now, again, I'm doing my own little research. Now, I'm not saying that nothing happened because we don't know. But before we jump to conclusions, I want to mention something in regards to what that young lady just said. Time of death versus time of incident. There's a major point of confusion in public discussion. The time listed on a death record, let's say 11:17 a.m., is almost always the time when death was officially pronounced, not necessarily the time when the medical event actually occurred. So on cruise ships, pronouncement time equals when medical staff confirms the person cannot be revived. Incident time equals when the medical emergency actually began, which may be minutes, maybe longer, or just earlier. Why that matters? People online may assume the exact minute of death reveals something suspicious. For example, why did it happen at 11:17 a.m.? And I believe that's the narrative that's being tossed out there. But pronouncement time only reflects when medical staff made the official determination, which is after checking vitals and completing required resuscitation protocols. So this could mean the medical issue may have begun earlier. Staff may have already been attempting aid. Someone found her earlier and called for help. And there was a response window before official pronouncement. So any speculation tied to the specific posted time can be misleading unless authorities clarify both the incident timeline and the medical response timeline. Investigators always work with the real timeline internally, not the pronouncement time. Okay, that's just to get out. Because remember, they still got to figure this out. They're still doing an investigation. So with that said, the pronouncement time is one thing. That's when it's official. But that right now may not connect totally to when the incident occurred or even when she actually died. This is more about when it was called by a professional, a medical professional. All right, let's just finish this video real quick.
Anna loved going on cruise vacations with her family. Last May, she posted these videos, dancing in her cabin as her grandparents watched. Anna's parents also released this obituary, in which they called her our Anna Banana, our sunshine, our baby girl. She filled the world with laughter, love, and light. Instead of flowers for the funeral, friends were encouraged to leave flowers on Anna's car, which is parked at her high school outside Orlando, where she last left it.
Anna was due to graduate high school in May. Her family says she had dreams of joining the military. Carnival says they are cooperating with the FBI and are focused on supporting the family.
Now, guys, in the last video we did, we talked about the liability investigation from the cruise line, the law enforcement investigation, so the prosecution side of the investigation, if there is any. It was a very good dialogue. I definitely recommend you guys watch that video. It's starting to gain some traction now. But real quick, just a summary. 18-year-old Anna Kepner, a high-achieving senior from Titusville, Florida, died aboard the Carnival Horizon during a 6-night Caribbean cruise in early November of 2025. She was traveling with her father, grandparents, and other family members when she was pronounced deceased at 11:17 a.m. on November 7, 2025. When the Horizon docked at Port Miami on November 8th, FBI agents boarded the vessel under U.S. maritime jurisdiction. No official cause of death has yet been released. And guys, this is great because I do my research on this too, so I learn a lot in the process. I try to find where there's a gap that I figure that could require a bit more explanation or just before something runs wild. So now I want to talk about why the family may not be in the know and what should get released to them and what may take some time. So remember, there was a family statement summary from the father, Christopher Kepner. He expressed that the family is in the dark about what happened. He said the FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet and that everyone on board was questioned, but he still knows as little as everybody else. He emphasized Anna's future, which would have been military plan, service to her community, and the shock of losing a vibrant daughter. Grandmother, which I saw, was Barbara Collins Kepner. She stated on social media that she believes Anna was murdered, pointing to the FBI's presence on the ship as supporting her belief. And we talked about this in the episode a couple of days ago, where it's just the FBI's jurisdiction. That's all. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying you don't want to jump to that conclusion just yet. But I understand the frustration. So this is not to attack them, just for clarity. And this is the grandmother's personal belief, not an official statement from authorities. So what families are legally entitled to and what they're not in a cruise ship death investigation. This is what I looked up. I would love to kind of engage this in the comments. So if you guys know a little bit, feel free. Let's learn the process because I'm not the expert here. I just do my research. And eventually when the channel blows up, we get more followers, I'll be able to get some more guests on. But what the family must receive, this is legally required from what I saw, is they must receive the notification of death. This is required by law. The family must be informed that their loved one has died. Release of the body as soon as it's been cleared. So once the medical examiner finishes the autopsy and removes any investigative hold, the body must be released to the family. Cause of death does not need to be completed first. And final death certificate, when completed, includes cause and manner of death. There is no legal deadline for this as to when it should be finalized. So again, the cause and the manner. The manner would be, let's say on a greater scale, homicide, suicide, etc. The cause would be the actual stabbing to the heart, etc. You guys probably know this, but just to explain it more, the cause of death is the medical reason the person died. This is the specific biological mechanism. So example, cardiac arrest, drug toxicity, blunt force trauma, drowning, pulmonary embolism, asphyxia, stroke. Think of it as what physically happened inside the body. The manner of death is how the death happened in terms of circumstances. This is the classification of death, and there's 5. Natural, accident, suicide, homicide, undetermined. Think of it as how do we categorize the circumstances of the death. All right, so let's get to what the family is not entitled to. No requirements to share is updates during the investigation. Federal agencies are not required to give running updates or explain investigative steps. And that's because they have to protect the integrity of the investigation. That's key. Preliminary autopsy or toxicology results. These remain confidential until the case is complete. CCTV, and that's what we're kind of probably seeing also with the Celeste Rivas Fernandez case, just a little off topic, but CCTV statements or internal logs. Cruise lines and law enforcement do not have to release surveillance, witness statements, key card logs, or internal reports. Explanation of investigative progress. The family may not learn what investigators suspect, who is being questioned, what inconsistencies they found, or how the timeline is shaping up. Again, because it's an investigation in progress. You got to do what you can to maintain the integrity and keep it from, being violated. Your number one goal is to protect the integrity of the investigation, because when law enforcement gets involved, including FBI, they're going to treat it, if it's criminal, it's criminal, but they got to look at it as if this is going to go its way to prosecute. So they have to make sure they maintain that integrity the whole way out and do whatever they can to ensure nothing seeps in that could mess with the integrity of that investigation. So they don't leak it out. They protect it. Why families get few answers in maritime deaths. Multiple jurisdictions, international waters, and maritime law create overlapping authority, often slowing disclosure. Autopsy timeline. Toxicology can take 6 to 12 weeks or more. We're aware of that. Private cruise line investigations, internal fact-finding is usually confidential. DOSHA, Death on the High Seas Act, limits civil liability, which can reduce public transparency. And we talked about that in our last episode. Like, there's only a certain amount you can sue for civilly, which was unique. And they're trying to revisit that now because they want it to be treated as no different than something on land. What the family might receive, this is discretionary. Basic status updates. Sometimes a liaison provides very general updates, but this is optional. Information once the case is closed. They'll receive medical examiner reports, final cause or manner of death, possibly a short agency statement. Limited evidence release, which is rare, but footage or logs may be shared after the case is closed, depending on circumstances. I think you're seeing that a little bit now with the Kohlberger case as well. And then a little comparison here, death on land versus death at sea. On land, there's clear jurisdiction, faster access to evidence, and public-facing police investigations. At sea, complex jurisdictions. Cruise lines control the early scene, because that's what happened here. So as soon as the FBI came on, a day later, when it boarded or when it reached port in Miami, a lot of the stuff they're getting from initially comes from those that were investigating it on the cruise side, which is really investigating it for liability. So, of course, the FBI is going to also take that with a grain of salt, but that is their first eyes on the scene. And hopefully they do expect an objective investigation. So if there's concerns with the integrity of that initial investigation, then the FBI could start going after them as well. So there is reasons for the cruise line to do it correctly. So cruise lines control the early scene. Thousands of witnesses to track. So remember, as soon as you get out, as soon as the FBI got on, there were like people trying to get out. And federal agencies take over with stricter privacy. So bottom line for the Kepner family, there is no required timeline for the FBI or medical examiner or cruise line to provide answers. The family will receive notification, body release, death certificate, but they may wait weeks or months for cause of death, toxicology, final findings, and closure. Closure being the most important. So I just wanted to put that out there. Maybe it make for a good discussion as well, because we have to learn in the process, because if there is a need for things to take time, then we have to let it play its course. The last thing you want to do is for the pressure from the public to push things when they're not ready, or just rumor mill to be spread. Because right now we have it. I'm not saying nothing didn't happen to her. I'm not saying maybe there was foul play. We don't know, but we already have the first rumor mill being set out there. The specific time, let's run with it. 11/17 means there had to have been foul play. That's not the case. And again, not saying it didn't happen, but that's not the case. So we've got to try to control that before that starts running its course. Guys, again, if you like the material, I do put a description to buy me a coffee. It's in I do put the link to that in my description. I also have a link above my YouTube channel. As always, guys, stay safe. This video was just food for thought.